Hey guys, it's me, Roku, back with another great Darius guide video. In this guide, we're going to talk about Darius' toughest matchups in the top lane and how to effectively take care of them. Now, throughout all of my history on YouTube, I've always gotten asked questions about all these tough matchups like Wukong, Tahm Kench, Yorick, all the time. And instead of making videos one by one, I decided to put all the matchups in one solid video so that you get everything you need just from this one video. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Before we do so, however, two quick disclaimers. One, even though I'm going to be telling you everything you need to know, these matchups are still bad matchups, okay? They're still bad matchups. So if you mess something up, they will make life a living nightmare for you, okay? You're not supposed to win this matchup, right? You're in the disadvantage. So you really have to be very careful and aware to be able to come out on top, right? So listen closely to every single tip I give you because it's vital that you actually pay attention and take notes or whatever, right? Just keep it in your head. And the other thing is, I'm going to be assuming that we know the abilities of these champions because I don't want to waste people's time by giving information that's already known, okay? I'm just going to get straight into it and give you the information that's like the juicy, important stuff, okay? So, the first matchup we're going to talk about is Tahm Kench. Now, the idea with Tahm Kench is you're not fighting him, you're fighting the clock, alright? Because once Tahm Kench gets Anathema's chains, you cannot beat him in a 1v1 anymore. Like, unless you're so far ahead that, like, you're 2 items and he just got Anathemas. In that case, you do still stomp him, but when he gets Anathemas and you're even, he just stomps you in a fight, and it's not even fair. So you have to kill him before he gets Anathemas, alright? Thankfully, 1v1ing Tahm Kench early on is entirely possible with just W, alright? I'm going to play some clips of Darius versus Tahm Kench level 1, where it's the unbuffed 7-second cooldown W, and Darius just wins outright, right? Even if Tahm Kench has Ignite. And keep in mind the unbuffed W. So once patch 11.20 hits, with the buff W, these fights are going to be even easier to pull off, okay? So level 1, you can straight up kill a Tahm Kench with W. To make your job even easier, you might want to dodge his Tongue Lash, because his Tongue Lash can't go through minions. So if he's coming at you to auto-attack you, stay inside your minions, and then just kill him, okay? The big part about the Tahm Kench matchup is avoiding his Tongue Lash, and then just killing him and being aggressive, okay? Because if you don't just kill him and then kill him over and over again, he will get Anathemas, and he won't be able to kill him anymore, okay? Not even with Divine Sunder, right? He's just super tanky with his E. A few tricks are that, one, you can cancel his W with your E, so if he's in the animation of going down underground or underwater, I guess, and if you E him, you will cancel it. And another trick, which I'm sure a lot of you know, is that if he has health, where he's in range to be killed by ultimate, but he has a shield up, then you can pull him and try to ult him during the pull, because he'll be stunned and he can't shield himself. But yeah, the Tahm Kench matchup is kind of simple. It just gets oppressive if you lose to him, because if you do, then he becomes like an unkillable tank monster. The next matchup we're going to talk about is Wukong. Yes, the crowd favorite. So the Wukong matchup is quite difficult to play against for most inexperienced Darius players, but with these tips, you should be able to come out on top. Basically speaking, the name of the game is quick, short trades and wave control, alright? Level 1, we actually beat Wukong if we have D-Blade, Bone Plating, and W start, okay? So if you're level 1, don't be passive, right? Just go at him and just beat him up, right? You kill him if he has Teleport. Now, if he has Ignite, the fight gets a bit sketchy, because if he has Ignite, you have to do a really good job of kiting him, right? But you can still kill him if you kite him well. And like the Tahm, experiments we did, this is with the unbuffed W. With the buff W, this fight is basically even easier. So level 1, you can basically just kill him. Ignite, no Ignite, just kite him properly, and you basically just destroy him, okay? Now, if you don't want to risk it, like you're not feeling confident, or maybe there's like a jungler that's there and you don't want to go for an all-in, whatever the case may be. If you're not feeling too confident, then you can simply go for a quick trade. Like he goes in on you and you RW and you walk out. And when you do this, you're just going to win the trade anyway, because all he can do is just go in on you and auto-attack you. Level 1, by the way, right? So if you don't feel too good about it, you can just RW and just trade whenever your W is up, right, for level 1. Now, the matchup gets hard once Wukong gets his other abilities, okay? Once he gets his dashes, like the both of them, like the dash where he goes in on you and his W, then the matchup gets really, really difficult, because basically speaking, he has 2 ways to avoid your Q. This is why you almost never want to start a fight with Q. You don't even want to use Q until he has used both of his mobility, because he can either just insta-E on top of you and just avoid your Q, or even if you do a combo on him with RWQ, he can just W and dodge it anyway, okay? So you have to just use your Q when his mobility spells are down. Now, if you have to land the Q, but his spells aren't down, you can also go for an EQ. That is always an option, right? And it's one of the things that you have to know against Wukong, because sometimes, like, he's about to kill you, so you have to get your Q out, get the healing, and then, keep the fight long enough for you to ult and kill him, right? So EQ is very, very important versus Wukong. Now, another thing to keep in note is that once Wukong gets his ultimate, it's very difficult to trade into him, because what he can do is he can just go in on you and just burst you down from full HP with his ultimate, okay? So you do not want to start a fight where he's full HP. Remember what we said, we kind of win shorter trades with RW, but, it's just that, like, he can continue that into a longer fight. That's what we don't want. So to beat Wukong, you want to make sure that the wave is on your side of the lane. So if the wave is crashed outside of the turret and you've frozen it there, then the Wukong cannot avoid your Q. You can just Q him for free, okay? This is because if he goes in on you, he's risking getting pulled under turret and taking a bunch of turret shots and even leaving himself open to be killed, okay? So with good wave control, you can just keep the wave on your side of the lane and just, take good trades and then prepare him for an all-in. If you want a guide on wave control, I'll leave a card for it in the top right corner. And if all else fails, right, if you can't outplay him, if you can't outtrade him, if you can't land your Qs, if you just die to him, then there's always the option of rushing Anathema's Chains, okay? Because this is one of the matchups where Anathema's Chains works really well into him because he doesn't have any true damage or whatever, right? So you can just rush that and also get a Tabis, and you'll be so tanky that you'll have all the time in the world to just kill him. And unless you fed him 5 kills, you can basically just murder him 1v1 with Anathema's from like 2-3 kills down, right? Maybe not 3, but 2 definitely. So yeah, that's the Wukong matchup. The Yorick matchup. This is one of the more annoying melee matchups, especially for me, because Darius's lack of mobility really is perfect with everything that Yorick wants to do, which is get your ghouls up and trap someone in the cage and just get your ghouls to just destroy them, right? So Yorick wants to do this, and Darius is like the perfect target. The matchup gets even more messed up once he gets his like E and his W like level 3. Because once he gets these abilities, and you get hit by both of them, you are dead post 6, right? You're either dead or you're losing your flash. Now the messed up part is, with Yorick, his E sets up his W, because when he lands his E, he slows you. And then he can put his cage on you. But also, his W sets up his E. So if he lands his cage, he can also throw his E at you. So these two abilities, they both have to land, but they both kind of set each other up. Especially for an immobile champion like Darius. So it's really kind of difficult organically to figure out this matchup, okay? But the matchup is essentially 100% wave control, okay? Wave control and then knowledge of how Yorick's play, okay? So you want to take things slowly, all right? You want to stop him from getting his ghouls up. I'm going to put footage of a high-low match I've had against a Yorick player in Master, where I basically just slowly push my minions into him and really not let him touch the minion wave at all, okay? Take it slow, take it steady, and if he walks up to get a Q on the minions, then you could just, like, either trade into him or just straight kill him, because Darius is stronger than Yorick, okay? And that's the key thing with this matchup. Darius is greater than Yorick, but Yorick plus his ghouls are greater than Darius. I mean, Yorick, ghouls, maiden, it's better than Darius, okay? So he's better than you if he has his army, but if he doesn't, then you just murder him, okay? So, yeah, the maiden's a big part of the matchup. Anyway, so, how to beat this matchup? So the idea is, you're not just kiting Yorick, you're also kiting his ghouls and his maiden, and the biggest, like, thing that stops you from doing this is his E, okay? So, the name of the game is avoiding E, because if that E lands on you, his damage is going to get on top of you, okay? So, yeah. A trick that I personally do against Yorick players is, remember how I told you that the cage sets up his E? When Yorick traps you in a cage, you wait for him to throw out his E, okay? And when he throws his E out, you flash into him, okay? You just flash into him, because he's going to miss his W, he's going to miss his E, and his ghouls are not aggroed onto you anymore, okay? And even if they do hit you, they do way less damage. So, if you do this aggressive thing and you have Ghost activated, you can basically just kill him. Even if he, like, you know, flashes your next Q, like, you still just straight up kill him, because without his ghouls attacking you, Yorick cannot burst you down, okay? So this is my personal trick on how I deal with most Yoricks. Now, like, another, like, let's say you're not, like, you know, this aggressive or whatever, right? Like, you can also just try to, like, dodge Yorick's E, but this is really tricky because you have to understand how the skill shot works, okay? So Yorick has a really long range with his E. So you, like, juking down or, like, away from him is not the right idea, okay? But juking directly towards him is also not right, because the closer he is to the, like, you know, skill shot, the faster it will just land onto you, right? So the best way to dodge Yorick's E is to walk in a diagonal line to the sides of the ability, because the way it's shaped, it means that, like, its width is really, really small. So you have to just dodge sideways. And the way it's coned, you have to dodge sideways at an angle towards the Yorick, okay? That's the fastest way to juke the E, and this is very easy to do with your Ghost Up, okay? And once you juke the E, Yorick is basically just dead instantly, because without his E, his ghouls do no damage to you, and you can just chop him up and kill him, okay? This matchup is all about his E, okay? In the worst case scenario where he does just trap you in his cage, and then his E, just destroy the cage with RW and just run away, because, like, you will lose a ton of health, okay? So just, if you're trapped in this cage and he does land his E, just run away, okay? So, yeah. Now, this was all the mechanical parts, right? So, if you dodge the E, you will beat him no matter what. You can do this in many ways. You can either bait him into throwing it at you and flashing out of it. You can dodge it with your Ghost. And just, you know, there are many ways to avoid it, right? But it's all about how much you can dodge and, you know, what you can do with expectations and whatnot, okay? It's just like a skill matchup. Now, if you have wave control skills, then you can use this to benefit yourself too, because, like, Yorick, to kill him, you need to just run him down, okay? You really need the full length of top lane to kill this guy consistently, alright? So, don't shove lanes into him, right? Now, I know that trying to slow down his push is basically impossible because, you know, when he's pushing into you, right, he's doing it with his Maiden and his ghouls, and you can't really slow that down because they'll just trade into you. You want to just take it slow when you're pushing into him, right? Don't shove into, just slow push, okay? And when he walks up to kill the minions, then just kill him, right? The ideal thing, if you can pull this off and he's not in lane, is to freeze, okay? Because if you freeze the lane on your side of the lane, he's not going to have ghouls, right? Because, you know, he's not killing minions, right? Like, him and Maiden are not killing minions, so he's not going to have a lot of ghouls. And if he walks up, you can just go at him and try to kill him. And because he's not actively spawning ghouls, even if he lands his E and whatever, you'll still be able to just edge him out and kill him if you land your Qs, right? So, if you can pull off a freeze, then that's perfect, because you will just kill him over and over again, and he can't really fight against you, okay? It's just hard to find, so you mostly want to just take a slow push and then kill him if he tries to contest the wave, you know? So yeah, that's how you can work with wave control. And one more thing I have to remind you is, a lot of Yoricks like to push big waves into your turret, and then go invade the jungle and take their camps. If your jungler is in your jungle, it's sometimes better to give up that CS and go save them, okay? And even get a kill on the Yorick. So, my advice is, you should always have a control word against Yorick and put it in your jungle entrance, okay? So that if you see your Yorick there, you just run down and help your jungler fight the Yorick and try to kill them, okay? Because, like, if a Yorick kills your jungler, he basically starts taking over the game, because not only is he stronger than you, but he's also stronger than your jungler. He can 2v1 you guys, and he can also just take all of your jungler's farm, so he gets even more farm. So try to stop him from harassing your jungler and stuff like that. Though I have not, like, ever tried this, an Anathema's Rush theoretically works into Yorick, because he does a lot of mixed damage, right? So, but Anathemas doesn't care. The Anathemas just stops everything, so it might work into him. But, like, keep in mind, it would only help if you, like, you know, you're only 2 or 1 kill behind. Not like, you know, he's got Divine Sunder, Sterax, and Hullbreaker, and he's just Anathemas here. You're not going to win that fight, okay? So, as long as the lead he has isn't too substantial, you might have a chance with Anathemas. So the next matchup I'm going to talk about is Vayne, right? And Vayne, I'm going to talk about the specific Vayne matchup, but I'm also going to give tips on how to play range matchups in general. I had to pick, like, a mascot for range champions, and I picked Vayne, basically. Vayne is, like, the typical range matchup that's just, everybody hates her, nobody wants her top lane, but she's just there. So to beat her, we gotta know how to play against her, and we gotta know the playstyle against how to beat range top laners. So The biggest thing about ranged top laners is to understand the champion that you're up against and what they're capable of. You gotta understand their maximum range and the amount of damage that they do, okay? These things are so important because playing a ranged matchup is all about using your judgment to decide which CS is worth it to go for, okay? So, if a CS is not in your enemy's range, then you're free to go for it. But if a CS is in your enemy's range, then by going for that CS, you're sacrificing your health, okay? Now, you have to decide, is this health I'm going to sacrifice worth it? And in most cases, it isn't worth it. Especially against Vayne, because her passive and her W and her Q make it so that if you go for a minion, she's going to chase you down and hit you until you're like 300 health left, okay? So, doing this against Vayne is really, really bad. So just give up your CS if you have to, right? You don't have to be too aggressive. Just give it up, because you're waiting until level 3, okay? Until you get your pull, okay? Once you have your pull, the matchup is a bit different. Because if you land an E on the Vayne, you will beat her in the all-in, okay? You will just straight up beat her. She cannot match you in a one-to-one melee fight, alright? Unless she dodges your Q or condemns you and then just beats you up like that, right? So, as long as you don't get outplayed, she can't just beat you straight up. So, save your HP, get your E, and look for a pull. And once you get a pull, Ghost activated, just run her down. Even if she condemns you, your Ghost move speed will make it so that you catch up to her and kill her. This is the basic playstyle against ranged champions, okay? Patience. Give up your CS, and when the time is right, you're gonna just pull them in and kill them, okay? You're basically waiting for the opportunity to kill them, because there will be the opportunity to kill them. It's just about whether you have the HP to do it or not, okay? The Vayne matchup is exactly the same as basically all other ranged matchups. It's just that she's way more punishing. So if you make a mistake into Teemo, the worst is you get E, you get auto attack, and you get Q'd. If you make a mistake against Vayne, she just, you know, ruins your life and, you know, sends you to your grave. So yeah, you really have to be careful against Vayne. Your big power specs into her are Ninja Tabi's, Strikebreaker, and when you get your E, so you're level 3, right? And also you're level 6. So with these 4 power spikes, whenever you get into them, you can actually beat her in an all-in, okay? So you have multiple opportunities whenever you pull her, but these 4 power spikes of level 3, level 6, and when you get Ninja Tabi and when you get Strikebreaker are all opportunities where if you fight her just when you get these, you will just beat her in the all-in, okay? Just have to land your Qs. A tip is to try Sweeper against her, because if she gets her ultimate invisibility thing, she can't just outplay you, so you don't want to get outplayed too badly, so just get Sweeper and save yourself the embarrassment. The bad thing about the Vayne matchup is that eventually she will outscale you, okay? Vayne is hard-coded to beat you, because it's just what she does, right? She beats up champions like you, so the best you can do is beat her down, keep her down, and then help your team get fed so that they can just one-shot her. The last matchup I'm going to cover in this video is Volibear. Now, Volibear is one of those lower elo counter picks. In higher elo, we kind of know how to deal with them, but in low elo, Darius players tend to just straight up die to Volibear, so this is for some of you low elo boys in the chat. Or viewers, I guess. First off, level 1, you kill him very easily, okay? Whatever, like, ability Volibear ranks, he has Ignite, PTA, whatever, okay? Whatever Volibear has, you kill him level 1 with no difficulty. And this is, like, I'm going to put the footage in the back. This is with old W, so 7-second W. With new W, these fights are going to be even easier, okay? So level 1, just straight up kill him. Don't let him touch the minion wave, okay? And if he walks up, just kill him. What you can do is play passively, wait for him to start hitting the minions, and when he's getting real into it, just run in Ghost and just kill him, okay? Just fool him into thinking he's safe and then just kill him instantly, okay? So level 1, there's nothing he can do because the dangerous part of this matchup isn't his level 1, but it is when he gets all of his abilities. The matchup becomes more difficult when he gets both his Q and E in addition to his W, okay? The name of the game is to avoid his E, okay? His lightning. It does a ton of damage, it slows you super hard, and with the slow, he can just walk in and W and you can't land your Qs, okay? So, like, it's a really, really bad thing to get hit by his E, because not only does it just chunk you out, but it leads to him being able to take even better trades with his W, with his Q, whatever, right? Bad. Get out of his E. Now, the thing is, a good Volibear is going to do Q and E at the same time, okay? He's going to do both of them at the same time. So, like, E is normally just easy to dodge. You just walk out of it or, you know, Ghost run out of it, but if he does Q into E, you're stunned. So it's even easier for him to land his E, right? So, the key part is to outplay his Q. Because without Q, you can easily dodge E, but with Q, dodging E becomes hard. Now, this is how you do it, okay? Now, when you're laning against Volibear, you don't want to just start the fight, okay? You want to leave the ball in his court. And if you want to poke him, make sure you Q with the outermost edge of your Q, right? So start your Q, and when he starts walking towards you, then just kite him away, okay? Because what's going to happen is, if you Q with the closer part of the sweet spot, he's just going to lunge towards you and stun you anyway, okay? Because at the end of Volibear's like stunning animation, it's like a lunge, it just jumps on you, and it's unstoppable, okay? So you want to hit him with like the outer part of your Q sweet spot. As for not getting stunned, there are two ways to kind of avoid this, and one of them is kind of like iffy if it works sometimes, but the other one definitely works all the time. So if you have your sums, the second he Qs onto you, you press Q, you activate Ghost, and you kite him, okay? Land your Q, and you kite him. Your move speed is greater than his, so he will never reach you. And the best part is, once you run out of his Q and he can't land it anymore, you can just go right back in and just kill him. He doesn't have a stun, so you can walk out of his E, and all he can do is basically just W, right? That's all he does, and we have all of our abilities. We just kill him like any other tank, okay? If you don't have Ghost, the matchup becomes a bit harder, because, like, you have to basically hit him with the outer edge of your E, and then walk away. And even then, because of his Q, like, resets upon stun, he will eventually reach you. It's just that he has to run a very long distance, and most of Volibears aren't going to do this, because doing that is just like they're missing CS, whatever, and they're getting closer to your side of the lane, which is like dangerous against Darius, right? So usually it works against more intelligent Volibears, but some of the stupid ones will just keep running at you, and you can just queue them and set them up for a fight, okay? You can plan your all-in depending on how the specific Volibear you're fighting uses their E. So do they use it the same time as Q, like to predict where you're going to go? Do they use it after their Q to have an easier time to land it? Just plan it around how they use it. If he uses his E early, then you want to just run to the side and then E him as soon as he just stuns you, okay? This way, his E will miss, and he will leave him in range for an extended fight, okay? But if he's the kind of Volibear to do Q first and then E, then you want to just E him with the very edge of your E, okay? Because this way, like, you'll be able to run back and keep kiting him and then land another Q in, okay? Or just land, you just be able to keep kiting him and just draw the fight out, which is better for you, okay? So, like, again, it's a bit sketchy. It only works sometimes, but this is the best option you have, and it all depends on how the specific Volibear plays, okay? So yeah, name of the game, avoiding his E, and then, you know, avoiding his Q. It's just, basically, you can kill him whenever you have Ghost up, okay? So just using your Ghost properly really lets you destroy him, and the thing about this matchup is, once you start killing him, he's not even that tanky, right? If he doesn't get his items, like his stats, he is so easy to kill, you won't even believe it. So yeah. Like, people say you should get anti-heal into him, but you don't even need, like, Divine Sunder to beat him, okay? If you just play properly, you'll destroy him. If you need more detailed breakdowns of matchups, then check out my Know Your Enemy playlist. There, I've broken down the Set, Illaoi, Camille, Aatrox, Jax, and the Mundo matchups. I also have a video dedicated to dealing with ranged top laners as Darius. It contains all of the fundamentals and how to specifically fight all of the most popularly picked ranged top laners. Be sure to hit that subscribe button in order to not miss the guides I have for Darius and top lane in general. Okay, that was bullshit. You just walked into the turret. Alright.
I mean, you want